This story begins in the beautiful Bahamas, encompassing 700 islands and more than 2,000 small keys spread across the Atlantic Ocean. It's a vast paradise of exotic islands, pale pink sand beaches, serene shores, crystal clear turquoise seas, and an abundance of stunning marine life. It's also home to the Royal Bahamian Potcake and the team of people dedicated to helping them. This is their story of sad beginnings, harsh realities, compelling rescues, and futures of hope, at least for the fortunate ones. Join us on this journey of the Potcake from destitute to triumph, and what it takes to get them there. Just off the Florida coast in Abaco, Bahamas, is North Abaco Potcake Rescue. This rescue group is made up of Abaco residents living within or near the communities of North Abaco. After witnessing the outright suffering of the potcake struggling to survive in these small towns, they decided it was time to do something. That's when North Abaco Potcake Rescue began. What started out as handing out a bag of food to the hungriest of dogs they passed on their 30-mile journey has evolved into a weekly route with a car full of food, water, medication, and whatever else could be provided to better the lives of these dogs they helped. Also located in Abaco in the town of Marsh Harbor is the Abaco Shelter. The Abaco Shelter was developed on the site of an old dump and serves as a sanctuary for stray and abandoned dogs. Since the retirement of Willis Weatherford, the shelter's former director, in 2012, the shelter is now run by Lisa Plummer and a few very devoted volunteers. As the only facility of its kind on the island, the Abaco Shelter not only provides a place for needy animals to live in safety, it also caters to their physical well-being, spay and neuter clinics, and dog adoptions. Just off the mainland of Abaco, Scotland Key is home to many orphaned potcake puppies. Taken in and cared for by Linda and Don Hunt and Marlena Bethel and family, who make weekly trips to the mainland to help with rescue efforts. Here they're cared for, taken for vet visits, and start their very first puppy training to prepare them for adoption.
My name is Angie. I've lived in the Bahamas for almost all my life, and I'm a rescuer here in Abaco, where I've just recently moved. Before Abaco, I was in Nassau, always being involved and in love with animals and whatnots, but I've just really been involved on a different level here in Abaco. Now he's got fresh water, right?
Yeah, he's got
good
fresh water there.
Okay, and we're gonna get some products for that, okay? And then you can actually spray it around her environment too, you know what I mean? So, awesome. Okay, baby. completely without planning any of this, myself and a group of wonderful friends have just fallen into this routine of rescuing wet food.
Wet food with other.
Yeah, and we literally have to do this simultaneously because otherwise they'll all try to grab the food, and we're gonna have to do it fast.
You're here. Come. Hang on, sweetie. Come here. You ready? Here, can you get the baby?
And we've teamed up with this incredible shelter called Abaco Shelter here in Marsh Harbor, and we're a satellite to Abaco Shelter. We're in the north. It's over 100 miles long, the mainland of Abaco, so that's a lot of territory to cover. So we're the northern arm, and they have been amazing with being able to organize spay and neuter clinics that are free to the community. And the community, they've never experienced this kind of attention, this kind of care from other towns so far away about how their lives are affected by the dogs, and how the dogs' lives, are obviously affected by living on the street. So it's just been this amazing collaboration of community members and rescuers. The Abacos are beautiful. They are the family islands in the Bahamas. Nassau's the capital. It's such an interesting culmination of characters and the beauty of the islands, the beauty of the marine life, the beauty of the waters. It's kind of like getting away to the cottage when you're in a big city. It's just absolutely beautiful here. Not only the beaches and the marine life, the reefs, but these incredible towns that are scattered through the Abacos. It's kind of like going back in time when you encounter these towns and the characters in these towns. And we also, of course, have our challenges in terms of animal care. Okay, so we're on this rather long road into the middle of nowhere. We're going to a farm in order to feed a feral potcake, who we've called Sweet Girl. So maybe she's not feral anymore. But in any case, she's very skinny. So we are going to feed and water her at this little farm that she's sought shelter at. The challenges they have with the dogs in the towns, breeding uncontrollably, and not having the facilities or the resources themselves to feed them or to handle the overbreeding and uncontrolled breeding. And that's kind of been my mission here in Abaco, to help the potcakes, to really communicate with the community people, and really help them to become caregivers to their dogs and the dogs that are around them. Amazing people. I have such an affinity with them, and it's just been an incredible journey with my experience with potcakes as well as the people of Abaco. A potcake is basically, they used to be termed the indigenous dogs of the Bahamas. There has been, some integration with other breeds, so the potcakes now are just a medley of shapes and sizes and types of dogs. But they're like the Bahamian mutt per se. But however, here in the Bahamas, they are registered as the Royal Bahamian Potcake. Incredibly intelligent, loyal, grateful dogs. They have this survival ability that it's amazing, and especially in the dogs that we encounter that live in situations where they really have to live day by day. It's amazing what they live on, puddles. For goodness sakes, I've even seen some potcakes catch flies. You know what I mean? Which is just devastating that happens, But it's just an indication of how hardy they are. And then, of course, we try to rescue as many of these potcakes off the streets as we possibly can, find them forever homes, find them forever families, and the gratitude is amazing for these dogs and for the people that adopt them, and it's really rewarding. to see them have chances at a better life.
My name is Lisa. I live in Green Turtle Key, Abaco, Bahamas, and I help do rescue in Abaco. Dry foods, wet foods here. We did 93 adoptions, and we did 415 spay and neuters, and that's just at our clinics. That's not what we do all year long. We do free spay and neuters all year long, whether the dog is owned, whether it's from the bush, however it happens. We're willing to do it because our goal is to stop the mistreated and unwanted dog population in Abaco. She's kind of losing control. She might be one of those alpha females. It's going to be good. She's going to have a better life after this.
Happy road to health.
Yep.
When we get the puppies, every puppy has about 5 trips to Marsh Harbor. They have 3 puppy shots, they have a rabies shot, and then they have to be spayed and neutered before they can leave here. So, and all of those have a certain time frame, so you can't like overlap them or do 2 at once. So you figure every puppy, 5 trips to Marsh Harbor in a boat. It's not cheap. It's a very expensive thing to do, but it's something that has to be done. You have to do it. I think it was in January we were down doing another charity thing, and we pull up and Angie was just warming the dogs. And we went to leave and it started raining, and I looked at Angie and Angie says, the man said we could take him. And I said, Angie, I don't know how to leave him here. And Angie had already taken 2 of them. Angie says, get out and take them, take them. So I go, are you kidding me? She says, no, just take them. The man said we could take them. And I jumped out and I scooped one up, and of course Angie says, we can just take one. So my husband immediately points at one and he goes, well, let's take that one. So we scooped that one up. So we ended up with 4 from that litter, and come to find out, Angie and Anita went back, and I believe Anita was able to pick up 2 more, and then after that somebody poisoned all the rest of them. So we would look at these puppies and remember that they're here because we picked them up that day, and it wasn't planned. It's just you couldn't leave them behind.
So our day when we have our feral feed plan going on is, well, first of all, I'm on an island about 4 miles off the coast of the mainland, so we really hope the weather's good. And I also have rescue dogs that are a part of my pack, and I'm often with fosters, bless. So of course all of this has to be taken care of before we go. And then it's a matter of getting on the boat and getting across the mainland. It's about a 12-minute ride across the mainland, and then we're sort of kind of in the middle of nowhere here in North Abaco. So we get over to the township, we tie up the boat, get into a car, and then to be able to get all the way through all the towns on our route, it takes, I guess, about an hour to the very end if you were just going to straight drive. And we have a lot of stop-offs on the way. When we go there, we'll backtrack, and then we'll do Cooperstown. We're in Cooperstown right now, and this is where this is basically where we start our northern feed. So, and we have a few sets that we need to take care of here. We fill the back of our car with the bags of food that we have for the dogs that we leave the food for, and then we have a big bin of loose food that if there's any feral dog we see, then we can at least leave that dog with a meal. We also carry water. We carry water bowls. When we see skinny dogs on the side of the street, we try to very subtly, because there's traffic, just try to get them a meal, and even leave it somewhere and then back away so they can actually just have sustenance for the day.
We're on our way to the dump now. It's actually how I got involved in this Potcake Rescue. We came one day and all of a sudden we saw a pack of 7 little puppies. Just breaks your heart. So we rescue them. The beginning of the North Abaco Potcake Rescue began. We were blessed to get this one, who wasn't quite so feral, and doubly blessed to get this little one. And she came right up to us. Yes, she did. And she just, we've got two, we've rescued probably 20 dogs from the dump already. And we're going to keep on going and keep on trying.
The other rescuers happened to go to the dump to dump their garbage, as they do, and they noticed this dog that had a collar on, that was well fed, and that actually approached the car, which is an indication that she's familiar to people. And this poor dog, her eyes were swollen, almost shut, because of infection of her skin and her eyes. And we managed to come right up to her, and she was so tame that she allowed me just to pick her up in my arms, take her into the car, and then she was sort of myopically peering through the windows going, "Am I going home? Am I?" That was my take on it, you know. She was so excited to be out of the dump, in the car. So Abaco Shelter takes this dog, you know, and now she's pretty well ruling the roost at Abaco Shelter, and she's getting better, she's getting fed, she's getting love and attention.
Only after a few weeks at the Abaco shelter, Love Bug was feeling like herself again.
In about 3 to 4 weeks, she's going to be beautiful again. Her eyes are going to be gorgeous. She's going to be able to see well. She's full of energy. She's beautiful. She's going to be a great pet for somebody.
She's looking much better.
On my way to the shelter, and I have a female to pick up. She's one of a group that I was not able to do at the last clinic. She was pretty far along in her pregnancy, and so we are stopping. We've gotten permission from the owner. She is owned. We are stopping to pick her up. Hi, I know. Come on, baby. Come on over here. Come on over. Yes, it's okay. Yep, it's okay. All right. See if we can get her legs in there. Good girl. We'll bring you some treats when we drop you off. You'll get good stuff. Yes, baby. Okay, let's slowly.
Just had an incredible epic rescue, again, with a very special sweet potcake by the name of Sheba. She's our smiling potcake. Potcakes have this unique ability, some of them, that when they're very excited, they look like they look like they're snarling or showing their teeth, but it's with the waggiest tail, so it's a potcake smile. You'll have to see it to believe it. It's such a wonderful characteristic of theirs. So smiling Sheba has lived life on the end of a tether all of her life, all alone, and what we heard from the fisherman who was caretaking her was that he was going to be going on a fishing trip, and he was not going to be back for 3 weeks, and he had no option. He was going to have to leave Sheba tethered to a tree in hurricane season. Again, this is teamwork. We're able to convince this guy to let him have Sheba. It wasn't us. To let him have Sheba. They're like family. And this gentleman brought Sheba to us.
1, 2, 3. Oh la la.
This is a day that I have been waiting for a long time. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's get her over to her foster home. Oh, sweetie, we are just on our way to Anita's house, and that, of course, is the halfway house for all of our rescues. This is going to be so exciting. She's had a pretty limited existence, and for the I'm gonna cry again. For the first time, she's going to have human interaction and love and compassion on a daily basis. She's gonna have a huge yard to run in, and she's gonna have love.
This is the first time you've seen Sheba off of her little electric cord and out of the bush. Because I smiled at you and you fell in love with me and you didn't forget me. Yes. Oh, honey. Yay, Lincoln, come here. Group hug. Your first play date. Look at this. We're still kind of in shock, right, Lincoln? We don't actually believe it yet, but it's happened. It's just because it's just been, like we said, it's been a dream of ours for such a long time. It hurt us every week to go up.
I mean, I stayed awake at night.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Just,
Babe.
I can't believe it.
Huh? Yay.
You know, they're being born into this, and the shelter and Angie's organization, they're all working together to get them spayed and neutered and to stop the process, which is the most important thing. It's the most rewarding thing I've done. I go to bed at night and all my problems just seem to melt. Everything else seems so small in comparison to what we're accomplishing and what we're able to do for these animals when we all come together.
Helping these potcakes find better futures would be impossible without a network of fosters, rescuers, and adopters within the Bahamas, Canada, and the U.S.
Zuma and Arcadia were our first fosters, and of course Zuma became our foster failure. They're incredible dogs, so loyal, so sweet, and really easily trainable, which is really cool. You know, they come from these situations where some of them are feral, some of them are just, just dumped off somewhere, and for them to just adapt to your home so easily and your lifestyle is key. And Zuma has really, really adapted very well. She's helped us with all of our fosters, and she's pretty incredible. When I first met Hurley, he was just this tiny little round ball of fun, running around on the key, just having a really good time. And what a little survivor. At 5 weeks old, they found him going from door to door, begging for food from humans. And that's those survivor instincts that these potcakes have. But those days of begging from door to door are way behind him. He's now living in New Jersey with David and Rich, two really, really great guys that love their potcakes. They also adopted Bridget, another potcake. So they're doing really, really good living the city life, those two potcakes. We've helped home about 13 to 14 potcakes, and they're all living between Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, and Massachusetts, having a pretty good time out there. So it's been really rewarding to help these rescuers. They work so hard to do what they do.
Where there is heartbreak, there is hope. Seeing these often forgotten souls now living a life free from pain and suffering makes all of the sacrifice worth every moment for their rescuers.
Hurley is definitely an island dog. He is very laid back in many, many ways.
But he's also super smart. I mean, that's one of the most amazing things about potcakes I think we found is their intelligence level. The only other dog that I can think that's like that are border collies.
This little survivor who was found begging for food from door to door at only 5 weeks old was brought to the key where he received his first puppy training by Angie and Steven to get him ready for his forever home. Now all grown up, Hurley is living the cool city life with his potcake sister Bridget and his parents David and Rich. After being rescued from a lonely life, sweet smiling Sheba found her forever home. Thanks to the North Abaco Potcake Rescue team for never giving up on her. She's now living the life she once only dreamed of. Lovebug's rescue from the dump was just the beginning of amazing things to come. She was adopted and now living in Canada, where she enjoys daily doggy dates with her friends at the park. Her eyes have also completely healed, and she just loves all the attention she gets. As pups, Zuma and Arcadia couldn't be closer, and that bond continues today during sister playdates at the lake. While their two sisters enjoyed tons of adventure on Scotland Key. Now Tanya and Scott get to enjoy their 3 adopted potcakes, Dusky, Spinner, and Mako, who are as tight as any potcake pack can be. Thanks to Angie and Stephen Ray, Sweet Girl's lonely days of trying to survive on her own are over. After caring for her day after day, Sweet Girl regained her strength and was finally ready to meet her new family. To no one's surprise, she's as sweet as always and thoroughly enjoys all of the love and attention she can get. Little Chico will never have to try and survive at a dump again. He's been adopted and living the fun life in beautiful Cape Cod. All of these puppies were also adopted. And Dobie Rainbow is just loving his life in super fun Hopetown. Angie continues on her journeys to help care for the potcakes in need. While back on the Key, all of her puppy fosters continue to keep her very busy.